Hey YouTube, this is Trains and Destinations, and in today's video we're going to do a quick overview of the Lenovo IdeaPad S340. So the Lenovo IdeaPad S340 came out a year ago in 2019, and it was the replacement for the Lenovo IdeaPad 330S. So I'm just going to do a quick overview of the laptop. This is not a review, at least not right now, so let's get on with it. So as you can see, this one is in a silver color. Now this one I'm returning, I just bought it to try it out. But actually, my current daily driver laptop is actually an S340. So this S340, which is in this dark blue sort of navy color, this is actually my daily driver laptop. This is the laptop I use every day. I've had this laptop for about a month and I really like it. And as you can see, it's a very interesting sort of navy blue color. And there's just a lot of things to like about the S340. So as you can see, it is a pretty thin laptop. This is also a 15-incher, but despite that, it really is not that big, and you'll see why it's not that big in a sec. Now, coming over to the design, you have your Lenovo logo here in the bottom right-hand corner. So as you can see on both of them, I believe these are the only two colors you can get this in, either silver or you can actually get this in three colors. You can get it in silver, blue, or black. I believe those are the three colors. But for the focus of this video, we'll focus more on this one because it is easier to see on camera. So let's go over the port selection. So on the left-hand side, you got your power connector, HDMI, USB-C, and a headphone jack. And as you can see, your speakers here are on the sides, basically, which is a good design touch. Now, while front-firing speakers will always be the best, having side-firing speakers is better than bottom-firing speakers, so that's pretty good. Pretty decent design there. And going on the right side of the laptop, you have two USB 3.0 ports, as well as your SD card reader, as well as your power indicator and hard drive indicator, if the laptop has a hard drive. And looking on the bottom of the laptop, you have your top rubber foot, which goes across the entire length of the laptop, which is a good design choice. And then you have your two bottom rubber feet here in the corners. And then, of course, here is your intake for the laptop. And then, of course, your moniker there. And then the exhaust, as you can see, is right here behind the display hinge. So I think right there is exactly where it exhausts, as you can see. And so, at least from the outside, it's a pretty simple design, but it's simple yet effective. It's a pretty decent looking laptop. In terms of price, this is definitely a budget to mid-range device. It costs around, I believe, $400 to $700 depending on the configuration. Now this configuration is the bare bones base config, and then my daily driver laptop, my personal laptop here, this is one of the upper configs. So we'll go over the base config real quick as I open it up. So the base config of the S340 has the Intel Core i3 8145U processor with 4 GB of RAM and a 1 TB hard drive. And then my daily driver is actually an AMD option. So this laptop, my daily driver, has an AMD Ryzen 5 3500U with integrated Radeon R8 graphics, I believe. Vega 8. So AMD Ryzen 5 3500U, Vega 8 graphics. So obviously this is the higher spec model. You can also get this laptop with a Core i5, Core i7, AMD Ryzen 7. There's a lot of different configurations to the Lenovo IdeaPad S340. But basically, this is your bare bones base one, and then this is an upper level model. You can also tell this is an upper level model because this does have a 2-stage backlit keyboard, whereas this does not. And in addition, this only has a 720p display, whereas this has a 1080p display. Now, there are 3 display options for the S340. You have yourself a 720p TN panel. This is a 1080p TN panel. And then your most high-level option is a touchscreen 1080p IPS display, which is also a touchscreen. So those are your 3 display options. And as you can see, the design of these, especially when you open them up, are pretty good. I mean, you can see that the bezels are extremely thin on 3 sides. And so even though it is a 15-inch laptop, it really fits in the form factor of a 14-inch. And I love the fact that they are matte screens, because matte screens, yes, they're a little bit duller than an IPS screen, but matte screens are very easy to keep clean and they're anti-glare. So I will take a matte display anytime, any day of the week over an IPS glossy display. Now, as far as the keyboard goes, it's a typical Lenovo keyboard, and it's very nice. There's good spacing, good travel. It's more of a, like, there's not a lot of travel, but it just feels right. And the keys have a nice click to them. There's good tactile feedback, nice and springy. So this is a very nice keyboard to type on. I make very few to no mistakes on this keyboard. And being a 15-inch, you also have a numpad over to the right. Now, one nice feature is that this laptop does have an integrated privacy shutter. So right now the shutter is turned on. If you slide it to the right, it activates the webcam. Slide it to the left, that turns on the privacy shutter. So that's very nice. And that is a hardware privacy shutter. It's not a software. So as you can see, your webcam is on. And as you can see, when you close the privacy shutter, that red indicator is there, and it shows that the webcam is blocked from showing anything. So that's pretty cool. So I've basically gone over everything. The last thing I'm going to do is turn it on. Now, this laptop, like I said, this has a 1 terabyte hard drive. Do not buy this configuration. This configuration I would definitely recommend. And it also comes down to the battery size. So one thing that should be noted is that when you buy an S340, be careful. As you can see, the SSD version already turned on, the hard drive version just starting to boot up. So no matter what you do not buy a laptop with a hard drive. Just do not. Do not buy a laptop with a hard drive. Get one with an SSD. But anyway, now one thing I will note though is that if you're going to get an S340, be careful about the battery, because this laptop line has 2 different sizes of battery. So a higher end configuration like this comes with a 52.5 watt-hour battery, which is really good. If you really push it lightly, you can get, I'd say, 7 to 8 hours of battery life out of this typically. If you're using a little harder, closer to 6 hours, but overall pretty good battery life for more of a budget machine. Now, I'm not sure what this one has, but lower end configs only have a 36 watt-hour battery. So 52.5 watt-hours for the bigger size, only 36 watt-hours for lower end configs of the S340. And I would not get those, because with that, you're only going to get roughly 4 to 5 hours of battery life. And yeah, as you can see, again, SSD powered S340, already on, been on for a while, and then the one with the hard drive is still booting up. But that really is all there is to say. Although one nice feature though is that the screen does go back 180 degrees, as you can see. Or roughly 180 degrees, just about. So that is a nice feature if you really need that. And in terms of the construction, the whole laptop is plastic, but the lid is made out of aluminum, just like the old 330S. So that is a nice feature, I gotta say. And then the last thing I'll show you is the charger. So the chargers do vary for this. So on a higher end config like this, you get your big power brick, your big fast charger. However, on lower end configs, you do get this, which is a much smaller charger. So I put them side by side. You can see the differences in charger. So I would totally recommend the S340 in the end. Just be mindful of what configuration you get. Make sure you get one that has the bigger battery and good enough specs. So overall, thank you for watching my video on the Lenovo IdeaPad S340.